live.
Word.
Episode 5, I think? 4, 5, 6, 7, 10?
5, B, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Alright, welcome back. Another episode of the greatest podcast in the world. Stamped. No questions asked, to be honest.
Nope. No kidding.
Yeah, no kidding whatsoever.
Boy, you said it.
Straight facts only. Alright, so last episode we talked about UFOs.
Yeah.
This episode I got a couple different things that we have, a couple different things that I did a little bit of research on.
Couple.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like connected to each other, but.
Sounds salacious.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but.
I do.
Yeah, so we'll get into that soon, but let's get a little recap. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Last time we talked was Thursday. Well, on the show, anyways.
Last Thursday, yeah.
Anything?
St. Patrick's Day was this weekend.
Yeah. Got the fit off, I saw.
Yeah, went off the fit. That was like. I did there was like a self rehab. I've not been
4-day bender.
I was fucking hammered for like 3 days straight. Worst hangover, top 3 hangover I've ever had in my life on Monday.
Dope.
I went to work and it was just like
It's miserable.
it was absolutely horrific. But it was a good time. I had a blast. And I'll spare all the details, but
yeah,
it was a good time.
Yeah, I recently, so on Friday, what day was the holiday? Friday, right?
Friday.
St. Patrick's Day. So we had my parents had a bunch of,
we had a fucking party here, which was insane.
Yeah, which was, I mean, it's fun.
It was fun as fuck, but it was just like, we've never,
yeah.
Our parents bought decorations and shit. They went all out.
Yeah, there was a lot
this
of
has never been a thing.
It was catered. It was catered food
yeah.
here.
So
it
was
was
wild.
really cool.
It was sick though. It was fun.
But so that same night, I ended up doing the DraftKings and FanDuel, because Brandon, I don't know if he's watching this, but he sent me a link to sign up to FanDuel and you get you deposit.
You crushed it, dude.
So you deposit $10, you get $100 just for the referral bonus.
Actually,
and then they also had another thing where it was you just put $5 and you get $200 first.
Yeah, the promos or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you're first time.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so we did that, and so I started doing that. First parlay I did was the popular ones, where you can just go down the list.
Some fixed ones or whatever.
Yeah, just some ones that other people have been betting. So I did that. I don't remember what it was, but it hit. It was $10. No, it was. So I got the $200 promo. Yeah. So I put 100 on the parlay. It was a Celtics one, and that hit for $500, which is fucking dope because it's just free $500.
Yeah.
So that was dope. I put $5 or $10 on Al Horford first basket in the same game. He hit that, so that was another $45.
On your uncut gem shit.
Yeah, so that was pretty sweet. So I was alright, perfect. Which I was thinking about it afterwards. $100 to win 400, or it was $450, I think, isn't even that crazy because you're putting down $100.
Right.
It was more just because it wasn't my money.
Right. So normally, if you're betting if you're just
if it was my money, I probably would have been
$10 to win 45.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But since it wasn't my money, I was damn, I won $400. And I was well, I did bet $100.
Right. Because in your head, you're that was a crazy odds.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was a plus 450 or whatever that would be. So it wasn't crazy, but so that was dope. Won that $5 into 500. Haven't won since.
You were sending me your stuff. I was holy shit. Dude.
Yeah, and I still haven't. I've still only spent. So I spent $10 now. Yeah. $5 on FanDuel, and I just did $5 on DraftKings earlier because they had the same $200 promo. So I did those two, and I have some random shit for tonight, just money lines. But
if I was you, I'd pull out 400 of that or whatever.
The 500 that I won, I pulled out all of it.
Yeah.
I just did right into my checking account.
Yeah.
I was I don't really fucking care.
Right.
And because I was $5, so I still had $2.95 to play with after that because of the referral bonus. And then I referred 2 other people, so I got another $200 off of them. So it's just
wow.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of free money I've been fucking around with. And so I haven't hit since that first day. I've been close. I got within one. I had one of the ones I actually put together. So a lot of times I just pick the popular ones because just throw $5 at a popular one, you might win $50, whatever.
Mm.
But I actually put together one on Saturday. So the Celtics played it back to back. So Friday night was the first day. That was the one I won. Saturday night they played again. They played against the Jazz, and I actually put together my own one, and it was fucking so close to hitting
basket short or something.
Yeah, it was Derek White 3. He hit 1.
Welcome to gambling.
Yeah, I know. He played 35 minutes. He hit 1-3. He only needed 2, and that would have cleared. But that was nice because it was like I put together myself, and the other parts of it cleared. So I was like, yeah, I know fucking ball,
dude.
Bro.
Yeah. I know. I did on Saturday. I was at my buddy's house or his girlfriend's house, like for the festivities.
Yeah.
I was shit faced and I put in some parlay. Didn't even know I did it. Like forgot I did it. And then I woke up on Sunday.
Was it the Bruins one that you sent me?
It was like some NHL one.
Okay.
And then like it was like a 4-leg parlay. And I woke up at like 250. I was like,
oh, so it hit.
Yeah, I had no idea where it came from. I was like, what the fuck? Like, really?
Yeah, but what you were saying earlier too. So Brandon, our coworker, beef like again, I don't know. He's probably watching, but he hit for like
dude,
what
was
like
crushing.
$1,300
yeah.
or some shit.
Because he lives. His address is.
No, but so he did the bonus bets thing with me, and the reason he told me to do it is because he fucked up when he did it. So he got the $200, but he didn't realize you could split it. So for those who don't use FanDuel, when you click the little bonus bet button, it just puts all the money that you have in your bonus bets onto that one parlay, and you can manually change it to like. So you get 200 for free.
Right.
You click the bonus bet button, it'll wager all 200, and you have to click that box and be like, I only want to wager $100.
Right.
So he didn't know you could do that. So he just put the 200 onto the one bet, assuming that's what you had to do, and of course it hit. It was like a plus 1,800 or some shit.
Yeah, it was fucking bananas.
Yeah, so he got like he got a good like fucking
handle out of it.
Yeah, a good 1,000 plus off of that, and then he won. He had another parlay that was like another couple $100. So. Yeah, he's been killing it. I mean, he sent his thing the other day. I think he spent like $80. He's won like 1,800 since he started.
Yeah,
so it's like
insane.
Stupid shit. But
and those like the ones that they put together for you too. Usually they're like enticing, but they'll like Vegas knows what Vegas knows, and it's always like so. Like we had like one the other night, and it was like Marcus Smart 2 steals, Jaylen Brown 2 threes, Celtics to win, and then Jason Tatum to hit 3 threes.
Yeah.
So like we're watching the game at the bar, and I'm like, I can't really tell. I wasn't paying super close attention. I think this is pretty close, but I'm not sure. The one we were like worried about was Marcus Smart steals.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then he ended up getting the 2. Jaylen Brown went off. He had I don't know whatever he did all right, and he had 2 threes. Yeah. Celtics won, and I checked, and fucking Jason Tatum went 0 for 8 from 3.
Yeah.
So if you're fucking watching this, Jason Tatum, dude, where's my money, dude?
Yeah, for real.
0 for 8.
That's what happened last night with me. Me and a couple of my friends put that one. Dude, this shit should have been the freest one of them all. 2 Marcus Smart 3s, 2 De'Aaron Fox 3s, 4 Jaylen Brown 3s, 4 Jason Tatum 3s. It's a lot. Marcus Smart and De'Aaron Fox, those are the 2 worst shooters out of the whole parlay. They fucking cleared in the first quarter. Right. And then Jaylen Brown cleared in the first half. Right. And then Jason Tatum had 2 in the first half. I'm like, dude, he's fucking 24 minutes to score 2 threes. And it's Jason Tatum. He shoots the ball like unstoppably. He just keeps shooting. I'm like,
you're readable.
He could be 0 for 50. He would keep shooting the ball. So it's like, I'm like, that's free. Even if he's...
Something's bound to fall.
Yeah. Nope. 2 for 8. So I'm like, whatever. So again, it's not my money, so I don't really care that much.
It wasn't mine either, but I still want it. Jason Tatum, I know you're watching this.
And I'm thinking, so I was saying before, so I put together my own one. And so what I do sometimes, like, I'll check the popular ones, I'll click on them, delete, like, 2 or 3 of the legs, and, like, put my own legs in there, because, like ones that I think aren't going to clear. So, like, for example, that Derek White 3s one. So it was Derek White 2 3s, and they were in, like, it was in, like, all 4 of the popular parlays that showed up. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that is fucking insane, because he averages, like, 2 like, he averages probably, like, 4 a game, and, like, shoots, like, 40%, something like, I mean, I don't know the stats, but, like, he's a decent shooter, and he shoots a good amount, especially, like, against certain matchups. So I'm like, dude, that shit is so free. Like, the odds are so weird. I know. Well, yeah, obviously. And I'm like, dude, so the Jazz 2 guards, both of their starting guards were both injured, too, so, like, they didn't play that game, so I'm like, dude, he's playing as a backup point guard. Whatever. Anyways. So they had, it was, like, plus, like, 2 or 300 for this dude, Walker Kessler. He's the starter for the Jazz. He's their starting center. Yeah. And he's young. He's, like, a rookie, and he doesn't even play that much. He probably plays, like, I don't know, 25. He's just, like, a solid rotational piece. And they had a plus 12 rebounds, or 12 plus rebounds. Was like, on FanDuel, you can do like 6 plus rebounds, 8 plus rebounds, 10 plus rebounds, 12 plus rebounds, like whatever you just pick from the list. Yeah. His is like plus 300. I'm like, bro, he's going against Al Horford, Rob Williams is injured, Al's just old, he doesn't even rebound like that anyways. I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'll put the plus 12 rebounds. Clears that shit. I was like, I fucking knew it, bro. Like, I just, whatever. So, and then the Larry Markkinen, it's like his over-under was like 30-something, 28 or something like that. I'm like, he's getting that tonight because no one's going to guard him because we don't have any 7-footers. He clears that easily. I'm like, dude, this is so free. And then fucking Derek White doesn't hit the second three. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. But whatever.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fun. Again, it's not my money.
It is fun.
Like, I can't even be mad.
That makes it fun.
Yeah. And so I have a couple random ones tonight. And I had like a couple money lines yesterday in both the games. So I had 4 money lines, like 2 favorites and 2 like underdogs, or whatever you call them. And the 2 favorites cleared. It was like Warriors and the Nuggets. They both won by a couple points, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Knicks game, I was watching that. Like they're tied like 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and then fucking Tyler Hero just hits like 4 threes in a row. Like literally like in a row 4 threes, like just doesn't miss, and then they win. Miami wins that game.
My boy Tyler. Fix my jumper.
So I'm like, fuck, dude. All right. So then my parlay's broken, and then the Hawks game. Of course, they're up at like 15. So this is the last leg of the parlay. It's already failed, but I'm like, watch the Hawks win this shit anyway. It's just like, so I get 3 out of 4, and then they lost anyway. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. But
it's always good when like you're like, well,
yeah,
they're all gonna hit except for fucking one of them, but then the other one doesn't. You're like, all right.
And then I was pissed about that other one, and then I'm like talking to my coworkers. My coworker's getting into it a little bit. He doesn't really know basketball that much, so he kind of asked me like questions about the Celtics and whatever. And I try to like steer him in the right direction, but he had a 6 leg parlay the other day, 4 hockey money lines, all 4 hit.
Yeah.
So he's already like, bro, all he needs is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown over, which is aggressive, bro. When I tell you, I would have been fucking depressed, bro. He put $10 down for $1,000. $1,000. Jason Tatum cleared. He scored like 35 the other night. We won by like 30 against the Kings, bro. Jaylen Brown. He had 26.5. He had 26 points, bro. Dude, he sent me the screenshot, and I was like, dude. And he sent me that shit, and I was like, I can't even be mad at that shit anymore, bro. Like, I feel.
Dude, that shit happens.
I know, and I was like, dude, that is so depressing. Because I sent it in our group chat on Twitter, like the one that was all the Weymouth dudes in it. So I don't know if you even saw it. It might have got buried, but.
Probably not, yeah.
But, he picked, like, one of the hockey money lines was like plus 400 or like plus 300. Like, it was like a shit team versus a good team, and it cleared. So I was like, damn, dude. So you must have been fucking buzzing when that shit hit. Yeah. Like, oh, that's. I mean, and then we're playing the Kings. Like, the Kings aren't even that good, so it's like they're gonna both hit their overs.
Sacramento Queens.
Fucking 1 point, dude. I was like, dude. And it's like you watch the game too, and you're like, bro, all you needed was 1 free throw, dude. You literally need a free throw.
It's gambling.
And it's like, fuck, bro. So I was like, I can't even be mad about my shit anymore. Yeah, that's how my weekend's been going.
Yeah. It's a good time. There's a lot of people listening right now that are going to be like, yep.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not my money, so I can't. I'm honestly, like, truly, I'm not even that mad. It's more just like, dude, it'd be so nice to just have another couple $100 in your account, like, whatever. But tax rate 25% on it anyway, so it's like.
Sucking dick to cover the fucking losses. Before you know it.
So I'll still only spend 10 of my own money, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I also randomly, you listen to Theo Vaughn at all? Do you watch like Theo Vaughn shit?
Here and there.
So he made a podcast with Caleb Presley, like the Barstool guy, and they're just like just a bunch of morons. Obviously, like they're just like
just goofy.
Yeah. And they were talking about like the Morgan Wallen album, how it's like 36 songs or whatever. Like one of the times he's like, Caleb's like, you know what's crazy? He's like, so it's like a 3-hour long episode, like 2 hour, 45 minute long episode. He's like, it's crazy. You could have started the Morgan Wallen episode, or Morgan Wallen thing, album, and it would have still been playing when this fucking episode ended. But so I've been randomly just listening to some Morgan Wallen. I don't know if you fucking Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
I'm not like a country guy, as you know, so I don't. I don't really dabble like that, but
I like country in the summertime. I don't listen to it really.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't listen to country at all. So I'm like, I need to fucking broaden my horizons a little bit because I'm like, why not?
There's some good shit out there.
Yeah. So this is
fun concerts. Those are the best concerts, country concerts.
A couple of his top 5 on Spotify songs, pretty solid. Some of them though, I'm like, this is like a Target song, or like this.
He's very pandering.
But then I'm like, there's 36 songs, so it's like, 15 of them gotta be fucking radio songs.
Pretty
like
the same.
Yeah. But that made me think though, like country singing's got to be like country singing's got to be like high on the list of like in real life cheat codes. Like if you can just be a country singer, that's got to be like the life. Like you're just born in the South, so you just have an accent that everyone fucking loves to hear.
Right.
And then you just fucking learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah,
and
but
you're set.
Keith Urban is like from like Australia, but he has like.
Oh really?
He just turns
so
on
just
country.
fake.
Yeah, like Larry the Cable Guy.
That's good.
Larry the Cable Guy, that accent's fake.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's completely fake.
That's hilarious. I always think about that. I'm like, I could probably fake a good Southern accent if I really.
Sit here and fucking.
If I really dedicated.
It's like the easiest accent to fake.
That's what I'm saying.
You can do whatever, like
Yeah, and I don't know where Morgan Wallen's from. I'm guessing
from Tennessee. Man.
Tennessee. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm guessing like Tennessee because the way he has like a little bit of like a
little drawl.
Yeah, but it's more of like a Texas accent. It's like a lot
little
like,
twang.
A lot like deeper and like slower.
Yeah,
He's like a little like high pitched kind of
yeah. Yeah, I like the old you like
barely. You're like, oh, you've never left your hometown.
Or like the guys that sound like people that like killed Native Americans.
Yeah.
Bunch of goddamn savages.
Yeah, like fucking John Marston and all.
Yeah, dude. Here we go.
Yeah, so I was gonna say he's got like a little bit of a higher.
He's got a little twang to him.
Yeah, like a little bit of a fucking squeak to it, if you will. But it works.
More than a squeak.
Yeah, he had like I think all 36 of his songs were like the top 100 country shit or whatever this week or last week or whatever. So.
Which goes to show you can pretty much say whatever if you can sing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. I know nothing about the guy, but he's got some pipes on.
Get some southern pipes.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how my week's been going.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to get into
Let's get into it.
The meat and potatoes, if you will.
The nitty gritty.
Yeah.
As they say down south.
Yeah. So, alright, so we were talking last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I forget, about the ocean and how fucking the ocean is just
scary.
The worst place ever. Yeah. And so I got a couple of stories about these ocean mishaps, if you will. Or ocean mysteries, if you will.
The mystery of the deep sea.
Yeah, so if anybody watching this is familiar with this dude on YouTube, his name's Wendigoon.
I love Wendigoon.
So he's made a video. Yeah, so he made a video on these. So maybe you've already seen it, but
I don't know.
For those who haven't, or even if you have, I mean,
it's the Thalassophobia video.
It's like a little refresher, I guess, if you've already seen it. Maybe it'll spark once you start hearing it. But
he's the shit.
Check him out. He really is. He makes like
such good videos.
Just the best. I mean, even if you're just like, he basically makes like podcast type videos. Like if you have like, so I have like weird flex. I have YouTube Premium or whatever. I've had it for years. Like it's like one of the only thing I have. One of the things that I use like all the time. And so his videos are on YouTube obviously primarily. So you can just I'll just put one on while I'm at work. It's like an hour long sometimes. You just in the background while you're working, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I said, like podcast type videos, just throw them on in the background. He does have some visuals to it too. Like if you're watching, like there is some sort of visuals to it usually, but most of the time it's just him talking.
He's really good.
So, but yeah, he's wicked good. So
he's skyrocketed too.
Oh yeah, he's went from like nothing to.
I think I followed him when he had like 20,000 followers. He had 1 million by the end of the year.
I'm not surprised. So anyways, he made a video about these 3 sort of instances. So we'll start with the first one. You ever heard of the ship called the Mary Celeste?
Yes.
So the Mary Celeste, for those who don't know, it was basically.
I don't know a ton about it, but I have definitely.
So it was basically this like ship that went out to sea with 10 people on it, and it was sailing. I think it was called the DeGradia. I think it was I don't know if that's how you. That's probably not how you say it because it was.
The river.
It was British, so maybe it is.
Okay.
Anyways, it went out at sea in like the 1800s, headed by some captain. His name's David Morehouse, and he was kind of just going through the ocean like with his people, and he saw this ship called the Mary Celeste that left New York City 8 days before he had left, whatever. And so the Mary Celeste was supposed to arrive in Genoa, Italy, and he found it like just like floating in the water,
drifting about.
Yeah, and so there's 10 people on it. So, of course, naturally you're gonna go like. What do you call it? Investigate what the fuck's going on. Like, why are you not here?
Right.
And so I'm just reading an article.
Was he sent out to find it, or like he just stumbled upon it?
No, I don't think so. It says no. It just said they spotted the ship.
Okay.
So this article says that there was a 6-month supply of food and water on the boat, like on the Mary Celeste when they found it. So they clearly prepared for like
a long voyage.
Yeah, which. It was the 1800s. I have no idea how long it would take to get from New York to Italy. I don't think it would take 6 months, to be honest. Like at that point, it was 1872, so it's not like it was.
6 months is a long time for.
Yeah,
I mean anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Yeah,
even back get around the world in 6 months, right? Something close to it.
I have no clue. Anyways, my point is,
but I could.
It said. At the beginning of this thing, it says, which had left New York City, the Mary Celeste had left New York City 8 days before him and should have already arrived in Genova, Italy. So it couldn't take that long. But of course, they planned ahead just in case whatever happens. So it was carrying 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, which So industrial alcohol is different from actual just alcohol that you consume. So industrial is like before you make it into
the base of alcohol.
Yeah, it's like before you make it into what you want.
Like Everclear.
Pretty much, but it's like you wouldn't consume it.
Everclear is what you make like moonshine with.
Yeah, it's like exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't consume it as it is.
Okay.
Or I mean, I guess you theoretically could, but like.
But it'd be like.
It'd be like drinking like fucking nail polish, like it's.
It'd be like capsaicin. I don't know if you know what capsaicin is, but it's like the base of spice.
Yeah, it's like you just wouldn't consume it. That's just whatever. That point. The reason I'm making that point is because
I mean, if you're a pussy.
No, the reason I'm making that point is because there's people who are thinking that. Whatever, I'll get into it. But
they're like, we should have drank this shit.
Yeah. No, so they found it. So they found it with, what do you call it? They found it just floating around. There was supposed to be 10 people on it.
It was a booze cruise. The first ever booze cruise.
So there's 7 crewmen. There was a captain, Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah. And
Benjamin Briggs.
Atop,
aloft the high seas.
Yep. His wife Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. And so they were battling heavy weather for 2 weeks, blah, 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 whatever. So basically when they showed up to the Mary Celeste, like when they found it just floating in the water.
Wait, who was on those 3 people you just said are on the Mary Celeste, or they're on the boat that found it?
No, they're on the Mary Celeste. Well,
allegedly.
They left. No, they were 100% there. At least when it left.
Were you there?
Yeah. No, but so they 100%, those 3 people plus their 7 crewmates were all on the boat when it departed from New York.
Gotcha.
But when they saw it, when they found it, there was just nobody there. Like, not a body, no one, there was no blood, no sign of struggle, nothing. Like, there was just, it literally looked like those 7 people were just, like, picked up from God and just disappeared. Like,
they just jumped off it or something.
Well, we're getting there.
Which would be weird.
So,
it must have been the Lord.
Yeah, right. So, the whole thing, the whole weird part about it, I'm gonna go to a different article too, just so I can get, like, a little more streamlined, but the weird thing about it is that, like I said, they showed up. It was undisturbed. There was like bottles of like alcohol and like beers and stuff that you would drink, whatever, that were like on tables and stuff that were like intact. Like they weren't like falling over. Like obviously if you had a fight,
right?
Knock some shit over. Yeah, there was like that. There was like those little things of ink, like those little circles of ink or whatever you call those little cartridge things. Yeah, and they were sitting on the desks like just fine.
So like nothing was disturbed.
So yeah, nothing was disturbed. So even if there was like weather, like inclement weather, there would be shit that would fall over
or something.
Yeah, the boat would be damaged and flooded and all that shit. Yeah. So that stuff was still intact.
I feel like you're on the ocean. It's like
the entire 1,700 barrels that were in the bottom, like of alcohol, those were 100% intact. Besides like intact.
Oh, intact,
like, untouched.
Yeah.
Besides like ones like there's, from what I understand, there's like they account for like I guess that I think it was like ethanol is like the base that they were using, whatever.
Yeah.
Has like fumes, so sometimes they like explode, but like not explode as in like detonate the whole ship. Just like fumes will just like
a gas pocket.
Yeah, just like it'll just like fumes will come out and just be like, and then it's just gone.
Oh, like propane or something.
Yeah, just like Okay. So not like nothing crazy, nothing that would like explode and kill and like blow up the entire fucking supply, all that bullshit. So that shit was all intact. So yeah, so they found all that shit. Everything was intact. There was no sign of struggle. There was one. There was like what is it called? A lifeboat. That was like on the boat that was gone. So there was one lifeboat that was missing.
Alright.
But they were like it was like
mystery solved.
Yeah, right. No, so I think from what I remember, I'm trying to find it in the article.
We'll see you guys next week.
I'm trying to find it in the article here. That
so
from what I understand, the lifeboat couldn't fit all 10 people. And
as of right now,
and there's multiple lifeboats.
No people. Everything's fine. Lifeboat's missing, but couldn't fit everybody.
Yeah, and also there was no reason to use it. Like there was no
sign of struggle.
Yeah, there was no reason for them.
Right, the ship wasn't going down.
Yeah, it wasn't flooded. It wasn't. I mean, there was like a little bit of water in it, but it wasn't enough to bring it down, obviously, because it's still floating.
I think naturally you're gonna get some water in a boat.
And keep in mind, the captain who had like been in charge, that dude Briggs, like he's like a seasoned veteran. Like it's not like he was a new guy.
You're gonna name like Benjamin Briggs.
Yeah,
done a couple voyages.
Yeah, exactly.
Trip around the ocean.
Literally. So I'm gonna go to this.
His name's actually Jake Jones.
Yeah,
they just renamed him.
Yeah, literally. His name's John Doe.
Captain Benjamin Briggs.
But yeah. So anyways, So yeah, he's like a seasoned veteran. So a little bit of a little storm, whatever, a little water in the boat, like he wouldn't just jump over like the edge and just fucking
wave.
Yeah, like there's no exactly. So
jumps off immediately.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's where like the whole thing comes in is like
just picture them hitting like one wave and just being like
right, just freaking out
straight off the side right away.
Yeah, and so people think that a lot of people think that there might have been like some sort of like a mutiny where like the crew was like turning on the guy and trying to fucking kill him, whatever.
Yeah.
But again, there's no sign of struggle, and there was like plenty of. There's no sign of a struggle. There's no like weapons they found like loose, like just lying around, whatever. There's no blood anywhere. Like, if there was a struggle, somebody probably would have died. One of the 10 people that were there in the struggle, somebody would have died probably, or at least got injured.
Scruggs O'Sullivan and the Neat and Tidy gang.
Yeah. Right after they killed him, they just perfectly put everything back together.
It's like I hate you, but I hate a mess more. There's nothing I hate more than Captain Briggs in a mess.
Yeah, literally. So I'll read this little excerpt from the Wikipedia page. So they found the ship's daily log in the mate's cabin. Its final entry was dated 8 a.m. on November 25th, 9 days earlier. It recorded Mary Celeste's position as whatever's coordinates.
Hear ye.
Off Santa Maria Island in the Azoros, nearly 400 nautical miles from the point where the Gradia encountered it. So it traveled 400 miles without 400 nautical miles. I don't know what the difference is. It's probably a lot less than an actual mile.
Okay.
But 400 nautical miles without a single entry. So it had been abandoned for at least that 400 miles, presumably.
Okay.
Or nautical miles, whatever.
50.
Which is 740 kilometers.
That's what gets me.
So, no, but I mean, just for perspective.
My ears are perfect.
I don't know much. I don't know like the direct thing. But
okay.
Anyways, DeVoe saw the cabin interiors. DeVoe was like another guy that was investigating.
Yeah.
He saw the cabin interiors were wet and untidy from water that had entered through doorways and skylights, but were otherwise in reasonable order. He found personal items scattered about Briggs' cabin, including a sheathed sword under the bed. But most of the ship's papers were missing, along with the captain's navigational instructions. Galley equipment was neatly stowed away. There was no food prepared or under preparation, but there were ample provisions in the store. There were no obvious signs of fire or violence. The evidence indicated an orderly departure from the ship by means of the missing lifeboat. So, again, they probably left on the lifeboat, the 10 people. But the question is why? Like, why would they just randomly abandon their ship when they had all their cargo still intact on the bottom? Well, most of it, whatever. Besides the few that maybe might have spoiled from like the explosions or whatever. But so it's like, why would they leave? And again, keep in mind, all 10 people were. So it's like a cargo ship. It's not like it's not like they're going to a new country. They're not Christopher Columbus, where you have a bunch of random pilgrims that have never been on the sea before, because you're trying to populate a new thing.
Doing a job.
Yeah, there's 10 people. They're all doing a job. They all are experienced. The captain himself is incredibly experienced. Like, there's just no reason that all 10 of them would leave the ship when it was in such good shape. So yeah, and then there's another part here that I can read.
Please.
So the sails were partly set and in poor condition, some missing altogether, and much of the rigging was damaged. With ropes hanging loosely over the sides, the main hatch cover was secure, but the fore and lazarette hatches were open.
Ooh.
The lazarette of a boat is an area near or aft of the cockpit. So it's like, so it's like a little hatch so you can go down. It's like whatever.
Okay.
There are covers beside them on the deck. The ship's single lifeboat was a small yawl that had apparently been stowed across the main hatch, but it was missing, while the binnacle is a waist-high case, or stand on the deck of the ship, generally mounted in front of the helmsman, in which navigational instruments are placed for easy, quick reference. So it's just a little fucking stick that's next to the guy who's driving, that gives you the little instruments or whatever.
Okay.
Housing the ship's compass had shifted from its place, and its glass cover was broken. And again, there was water in the hold, a significant but not alarming amount for the ship of this size. A makeshift sounding rod, a device for measuring the amount of water in the hold, was found abandoned on the deck.
Huh.
So what people assume happened. So there's a bunch of proposed explanations here on the. Again, I'm just reading the Wikipedia here, so it's obviously whatever. But I don't see why people would lie about this shit. So the proposed explanations. The first one's foul play, obviously. The other one's the lifeboat thing, and then the last one's natural phenomena. So the natural phenomena one, this is I'll just go over that one quick because it's that's what Wendy Moon says in this video. But It's the least likely one because like a lot of it makes no sense, but it's like also the only one that sort of makes like any kind of sense, like the only whatever. So it's like they talk about like earthquakes, but there's like it's called a water spout. It's like an ocean equivalent of like an earthquake basically, where like water kind of like shoots up out of the ground, like almost like a tornado.
Excuse me.
And they were saying like that might be it, but like again, like things would be like misplaced.
Something would be
something would be wrong. Yeah, exactly. So people say that like that maybe is what he thought was gonna happen, or like he thought there was gonna be some natural phenomena that so then he was like, all right, we're gonna jump on the boat and go. But like even again, like it wouldn't destroy the boat, so it's like he probably wouldn't leave 1,700 barrels of fucking cargo because then he's not gonna get paid all that bullshit. Other people think that foul play was involved, which is like they're thinking maybe he purposely did this because he's partners with like the DA that like investigated it. So he did it for like insurance fraud or something. But again, the job would have paid more than he would have got for the insurance fraud. And he's also a veteran, so why would he throw away his career just for a couple $100 or whatever, like for the insurance? And then obviously the last one is the lifeboat theory, which is that all of them just hopped on the fucking lifeboat, even though obviously they all wouldn't fit. And they all just dipped because they thought maybe something was gonna. They thought maybe the boat was gonna sink, or the cargo was gonna explode or whatever. But again, that theory is just weird because they're in the middle of the ocean, and the odds of them surviving on a lifeboat is like even slimmer than just surviving on this boat because it was that big. Like it was carrying 1,700 barrels of fucking ethanol. So you can just imagine how big it would be. Yeah, it's weird because it's like, again, like the odds of you surviving, keep in mind it's in late 1800s, the odds of you surviving on a little lifeboat with 10 people, like an overcrowded lifeboat in the middle of the ocean are even slimmer than just this boat. So, so, I mean, there's not really much else to say, but.
That is weird.
It's one of the weird ones. I have another one that's similar.
Kraken.
So, that's what, like I said, that's what Wendy did said in his video, is that he thought it was the Kraken. Because there's no other,
That's the funniest. The most exciting.
Alright, so this one happened in 2007. So this one's a bit new. And we have modern technology for this one, which makes it even weirder.
Okay.
So this one, there's only 3 people on it. It's called the Kaz-2. K-A-Z-2.
Oh, I think I've heard of this one.
And a 3-man crew, and they were in, they left out of Australia.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Or at least they lived in Australia, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it departed from Airlie Beach on April 15th, 2007. It was heading for Queensland on the first leg of the journey that it was to take around Northern Australia to Western Australia. The first indication that there was a problem came on April 18th. Happy birthday to our brother. Was when a helicopter recorded spotting Kaz-2 adrift in the vicinity of the Great Barrier Reef, and that its crew were potentially in distress. On April 20th, maritime authorities caught up with the boat and boarded it. They found the 3-man crew missing in circumstances what they described to be strange.
This crime's officially strange.
Yeah. This one's bloody weird.
Hey, what the fuck's up with this boat?
Yeah, so basically there's just a helicopter flying around in the water, or above the water, and they just randomly saw this boat, and they were like, oh, why is it just floating around? So then they investigated. They pulled up, and nobody was there. So in a statement delivered on the day of the boarding, officials of the Queensland Emergency Management Office revealed that the boat was in serviceable condition and was laid out as if the crew were still on board. Food and flatware were set out on the table, a laptop computer was set up and turned on, and the engine was still running. Officials also confirmed that the boat's emergency systems, including its radio and GPS, were fully functional and that it still had its full complement of life jackets. There was even a small boat that's still hoisted on the stern of the boat, and the anchor was up. The only signs that were out of the ordinary, other than the disappearance of the crew, was that one of the boat's sails had been badly shredded and that there was no life raft on board. It is unknown whether there was even one ever on board. So so this one's even weirder because, like I said, it's 2007, so it's like we have like modern technology for the most part. They could have easily
figured out something though.
So what they did before, I'll scroll down to the I'm sure it says it here somewhere, but so what they did is they backtracked the GPS to figure out where it came from and like figure out maybe something that happened, and it just literally was just like it started point A and then it just went to point B and then just started like drifting for no reason. Like there was no like struggle. Like
somehow fell or something.
So one of the explanations that is in here is like funny as fuck because it just is so absurd that like it's probably not true, but it's like
sounds like there might be like a magic bullet theory involved in this.
Yeah,
like this thing swung around and smacked them all. And then
pretty much. So one of the theories in here.
One was smoking a cigarette and then that went fully in the other guy's mouth.
So there was like a fishing rod on the boat.
Yeah.
And so it got caught on like one of the ropes, like like the little like ropes that hold the little moorings or whatever. I don't even know if that's the right word. I've just heard that being used before. Yeah. So one of the little ropes that's on the side of the boat, there was like a fishing hook or fishing rod over the side of the edge, but the hook was stuck on the rope. So one of the proposed theories is that the guy like reached over to try to get it, fell out of the boat. Then his buddy was like, "Oh, I'll come get you." Fucking jumped out to go get him. And then the other guy was like, "Oh, let me turn off the fucking boat or whatever." So he turns off the end, or no. So then he was like, "Oh, let me go like whatever." So he goes to put the sail down. It swings around, fucking knocks him off the boat. Engine's still on because he forgot to turn it off. Yeah, and so then it just drifts away. And then, so it's like that's just like some Three Stooges ass fucking bullshit. But
and while it's happening, it's like
yeah, literally. This one, another alternative explanation.
Three Stooges theory.
According to authorities in Townsville, the weather had been windy and the sea had been rough between the time that it departed and it was found drifting. This led authorities to speculate that the crew may have experienced some form of sudden difficulty during rough weather and gone overboard. However, one issue with this theory is that it is the contents of the cabin. Because remember, the whole table's set like they're about to eat dinner.
Right.
So it's like, why would they like?
Right.
It says, however, the one issue with the theory is that the contents of the cabin, including a table, did not seem to have been disrupted in any way. So obviously, if you're in a storm, it's not like a big boat. It's only 3 people, so it's not like a massive boat. If there's a small boat and there's a storm, it would be like rocking around. Things would be fucking being thrown everywhere, whatever. So the people who, the families of these people are still alive. It was only 2007. So they're kind of saying like that's bullshit. Like there's no way that's true because like I said, like that shit, everything would be all thrown around. Like there would be something sort of, exactly. Something would be like around.
Of some sort.
Yeah, so then this one says, also noted was the fact that the Kaz was found with its fenders out. So the fenders are like those big, massive like rubber things that go on the side of the boat when you're going to park.
Yeah.
So you don't like hit the dock.
Yeah.
Its fenders out, leading to speculation that the boat may have docked with another as yet unknown vessel, which the crew might have willingly or unwillingly transferred. So the fenders were on their yacht, and the reason that you ever put them out is when the boat comes beside you or if you are about to rest against a wharf. So like, if you're in the middle of the ocean, obviously you're not going to park against a dock. There's a dock to park on. So the other excuse is that there's someone else that's
someone came and fucked with them.
Yeah.
That kind of makes the most sense. It seems like, but then again, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, I guess that isn't necessarily.
So what I'm thinking is that, I mean, I'm still reading this, so maybe there's like a thing that whatever. I think that theory is the most likely. Is that they were gonna eat dinner or something, then another boat came up,
was like, yo,
gave him the fucking run around, and then
gave him the what for?
Yeah, and then fucking took him or whatever.
But
then the only problem with that theory is like, why would you do that? Like, what would be the point of taking those 4 people?
Is that a thing?
But if there's even if it was pirates, which it's 2007, so it's not really like
Davy Jones, maybe.
But if there was pirates, like they want money or something, or like they don't just, like pirates don't just kill people for no reason. They do it to get ransom, or they, you know what I mean? Like there's some reward. Like the definition of a pirate is someone who's stealing for money. So it's like So it's like if they were pirates, then there'd be some sort of ransom or some, like, you know what I mean? So. And they also didn't have cargo, so why would you waste your time with a small little boat of 3 people if they don't have any valuables or like, you know what I mean? So it's, and even if they did, even if you're like, all right, let me at least just take like their wallets and shit, like whatever. Yeah. Like you don't have to fucking take the whole person. Why would you even bother? Because then it's like
usually more of a hassle.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So in answer to the speculation, Townsville police stated that small craft commonly leave their fenders out all the time, making it impossible to draw any definitive conclusions. In addition, the coroner's report noted that an eyewitness and video evidence highlighted that the fenders had been left out when the vessel left the marina. So that's like another like thing where it's like, all right, so maybe that's not what it was. So that's why that's like not the conclusive answer.
Doesn't seem that insane that they might have just accidentally left those out or whatever. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Or like not give it a shit that they.
And again, the families are still alive, these people, so it's a little bit insensitive, I guess, to be like, oh yeah, they're fucking morons and whatever. So, yeah. So then this one says, God must have said Kaz, what do you call it? Bought Kaz 2 a year before it sailed. A year before it sailed a couple of times since then. The Tunstons were not nautical novices either, which is the people who left or were on the boat. Since they had sailed together from the time they were 18 years old and even worked in radio rooms of the Volunteer Sea Rescue, the last known contact of the family members with any of the crew was made 1.5 hours after it left the port when one of the crew members was contacted by his wife. So they've been sailing since they were 18. I get the ages of them are up here.
Just say, unless they were 18 and a half.
56, 69, and 63. So these are not new.
It's not the first go around.
Yeah, they've done this many a time.
They've been out there for a fucking while.
Volunteer radio operator Ivan Ormez recorded the Kazu radioed in at 6:45 p.m. on April 15th, evening of their departure, giving its position as George Point. This is the last known contact. Miss Gray says that it should have taken them only 2.5 hours to go out to George Point, and that it is unclear what took them so long to arrive there. One explanation is that they were just fishing the whole day, but another explanation is that they had problems with their GPS since they already tried to set off on April 14th, but were forced to return because of the non-functional GPS. That incident was because of user error and was easily fixed, so it set off early the next day. Other hypotheses include that the boat became stuck on a sandbar near George Point, where the boat's last radio message was made. When the men jumped overboard to push it free, a gust of wind blew the boat and drifted away, leaving them stranded. This would explain why the towels were left on the deck. Another hypothesis is that one crew member may have been washed over by a freak wave and that the others were lost trying to rescue him. So that's like the courteous way of saying the Three Stooges theory. Right. Where they all just are fucking morons apparently. Right. And just all. So, again, I the only one I can think of, or the only semi-believable one, is the one that I said before with like someone
boarded them.
Yeah, someone boarded or someone kidnapped them or whatever on sea. But even still, it's like,
I feel like that one's not even that crazy in the sense of like they could have been fishing and someone else could have like come along and just who says it? Like, well, no, because. So now I'm thinking now. I was like, it could have been a hey, why don't we all fish together? And then they're like, fine, and then they get on the boat. But then again, they wouldn't have just like where'd they go?
Yeah, and it's 2007, so it's not like you can just like I can't just buy a boat, put it in the fucking like the North Weymouth and just start sailing. Like someone's gonna see me, someo's gonna say something, someone's gonna be like,
why are
missing? You? Yeah, like exactly. Like their bodies, if anything, would have shown up, or like. So that's why it's just weird. I mean, it is 2007. It's not 20. I think it's 2023 now. So it's like in 2007, maybe the technology like was a little bit less common, or maybe it wasn't as weird to just do that in Australia. I don't know. But in my mind, I feel like somebody would have seen them. So yeah, I don't know. It's just really weird.
That is very strange. The rip sail too, like doesn't seem to be getting talked about. But
so the official coroner's report was that
these guys are bloody cunts.
Yeah. So the official coroner's report is the Three Stooges theory. That's really? Like the legal. Yeah, that's like legal decision that they made. So I can just read it real quick, like the way that they put it.
Can you read it in Australian accent?
The main holder in the white robe that was trailing behind the boat and bundled it up on the foredeck, possibly trying to dry the next to the locker that was kept in for unknown reasons. So that's where it's already wrong. For unknown reasons is where they're going here. So the rope that the thing was caught on, like the little, they tried to like pull it in, like to get to unhook it or whatever.
Yeah.
And for unknown reasons, James, which is one of the guys there, took off his t-shirt and glasses and placed them on a back seat. The report says that since the men's fishing lure was found entangled in the ship's portside rudder, an obvious explanation would be that one of them tried to free the lure and fell overboard while doing so.
Yeah.
Standing on the boat's sugar scoop platform, which is a platform at the back of the ship close to the waterline.
Yeah.
Like the little fucking while the boat is moving, is perilous and falling in the water is easy, but getting back aboard is almost impossible. One of the other men that came to the rescue of his brother, while Batten, still on board, started the motor. Batten's someone's first name. Still on board, started the motor and realized he had to drop the sails before he could go back for his friend. As he left the helm to drop the sails, a deviation of the ship's course or wind direction could have easily caused the jibe, which is like when the boom swings around, knocking him overboard. This could even have happened before Batten was unable to untie and throw out the life ring to his friends. A coffee mug found near the life ring may support this, since the boat was traveling before wind and at a speed of 15 knots. It would be out of reach within seconds. The report states from that point the end would have been swift. None of them were good swimmers. The seas were choppy. The men would have
quickly... They were good swimmers?
I don't know, that seems subjective, but the seas were choppy. The men would have quickly become exhausted and sunk beneath the waves. So,
This one seems
very weird.
Odd, but
again, it's 2007, so think about
completely insane.
Think about 2007 and like the boats that we bet on in 2007. Like they're modern boats. They're not like like
they're not schooners.
Yeah, they're not like fucking wooden like pirate ships. Like they're they're very established like boats. So it's not like I don't know. It's just weird. Like
it seems to me in this one, it's just like a couple of like. It was a series of very odd, unfortunate events.
So that theory that they said, obviously that's like, every part of it makes sense. It's possible, but it's more of like
it seems like a very improbable thing that seems like it probably happened.
Yeah, it's like there's like a 5% chance that it happened, but then again, there's no other explanation besides maybe, like I said, someone else boarding them. But even them boarding someone else. But it's like even then, it's like what are the odds of that even? And that no one knows who that is, or like it's just again like what would be the motive of doing that?
I don't know.
Who's like this just a boat serial killer? He's just on a 7 seas trying to kill people. Like, what would be the point of that?
Seems as likely as the rest of the theories.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I have no idea what could have happened.
That's wild.
But that again, that was 2007. Those people, I don't think they were found, as far as I know.
Jesus.
I'm guaranteed they're probably not even looking for them anymore. I'm sure.
No.
So. Yeah, weird. Very weird. Again, those people were all in their 60s, like 50s and 60s, so it's not their first fucking...
Not their first hoopla.
No, not their first time,
rodeo.
Yeah, so...
Tell you what, this wouldn't happen. Dry land.
That's true.
None of this would happen.
Speaking of dry land, this is the last one that I have here, and this is about, this is about the Flannan Isle mystery, so... This one's about a lighthouse, or a group of lighthouse keepers who all disappeared.
I've heard of this. It's kind of... There's a movie about this.
There's a movie about this from never seen
Willem
it.
Dafoe.
I'm not going to read this entire article. I'm just going to skim through it real quick. So it's a very long article here. So, alright, so from my understanding, 3 people all live in the lighthouse in 2-week shifts. So there's a group of 3. Yep. They live in the lighthouse for 2 weeks. Someone brings them supplies. Those people who brought the supplies take over.
Yep.
And then those 2 weeks, whatever, rotating cycle. So these 3 people that were living in there, I want to see if I can find their names real quick. I don't know if they're in here. They probably are somewhere. Let's see. James Duquette, Thomas Marshall, and William McArthur. Alright, so quick little 101 on lighthouses. Very standard stuff here. At night, you turn the light on. That's pretty much it. If the light's not on, something's wrong. And if the light doesn't work or like whatever, they know because they've tried it during the day. Like, there's protocols in order to make sure that every single night the light is on, regardless of who's working, whatever. And there's also, in this case, I don't know if this is commonplace, but in this case, it's not. So sometimes there's lighthouses where like they jut super far into the water. Like I'm sure you've seen those before, just in pictures, whatever, movies, whatever. But in this case, it wasn't like one of those ones that was super far in. Like it did jut out into the water, but there was a house nearby that could see the light. Yes. Which again, I don't know if that's commonplace, but in this place it was. Yeah. So the guy who lived in that house was his like quote unquote job. I don't know if it was actually like, official. He got paid for it, but he was basically gonna report. He was like a check and balance system. So like he would tell whoever the officials. Yeah, the lighthouse is on tonight. Whatever. Yeah, and if something's wrong, he'd be like, all right, it's not working for some reason. Again, keep in mind, I mean, obviously, for those who don't know, I mean, everyone knows what a lighthouse is, but for those who don't know, like, the purpose of it, the actual, like, real purpose of it is so that ships coming in don't crash into the island or whatever. At night, yeah. So, they actually are pretty important.
When was this?
I don't know the year.
The 80s?
1900.
Okay.
December 15th, 1900.
Damn.
Yeah, so a long time ago.
But not that long.
No. So, the lighthouse, the 3 people that lived in the lighthouse at the time, they just, like, or let me backtrack a little bit. So, it's a random night, December 19th, it said, and this guy, let me see, I just saw his name here. Jim Harvey, was, like, what's it called, captaining a boat. And he was, like, coming into the island where the lighthouse was. And he noticed that the light wasn't on, so he shot a flare, honked his horn, whatever.
Yeah. It's an arc.
Yeah. And I guess it's just from this article. I guess like when you shoot the flare, like there's supposed to be a response. So like, say the lighthouse doesn't work, you shoot the flare, they're supposed to like shoot them back or whatever.
Okay.
Just so there's some sort of like connect that like, all right, we're here, but it's just we can't figure out what's wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
So
this was the supply guy?
No, it's just a random
dude
passerby. Yeah, he was just going to the island.
Got anything about the skis?
Yeah. So, so he pulls up, whatever, and what's it called? Docks at that thing to go investigate. Like, what the fuck's going on?
What's the word, boys?
Yeah. So then he enters the living quarters, notices that the clock on the kitchen wall had stopped, and that the table was set for a meal that had never been eaten, and a chair had been toppled over. A canary in a cage was the only sign of life. Returning to the eastern landing, Moore reported his findings to the captain of the Hesperus. Harvey sent another 2 sailors to shore, and they and Moore began looking for signs of life. So Moore was like one of the other guys that was on the boat. With, or no, he was the relief lighthouse keeper. Okay. So he was the supply guy. It seems like. Okay. So yeah. So and then another thing. So the clock had stopped, and I guess you have to crank clocks back then. You just twist them up to get them.
I was like, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess like the clock stopped, which is another sign.
Which it hadn't been reset.
It hadn't been cranked in a while or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the table set for a meal. The table was set for a meal that had never been eaten, and then there's a chair that's knocked over, whatever. After a thorough search of the lighthouse complex turned up nothing but a set of oilskins, suggesting one of the keepers had ventured out in just his shirt sleeves. So again, this is like it was the winter time. I think
it was cold.
No, so he didn't have he just like left his jacket in there.
Okay.
He's gone. So something happened to him, but he didn't wear his jacket. So it's not like he like went out.
Yeah.
The men turned their attention to the landing platform on the west side of the island. Here, there was plenty of evidence that the island had recently been hit by a massive storm. A supply box had been smashed open and its contents strewn across the ground, despite being over 100 feet above the sea level. Iron railings in the side path had been bent and twisted out of shape, part of a railway track that had been torn from its concrete moorings, and a huge rock weighing more than a ton had been displaced. Jesus. Turf had also ripped up from the tops of the cliffs 200 feet above sea level, but there was no signs of the 3 keepers.
These guys just blew away, quite literally.
So Harvey's conclusion was that they got blown away or something, or like they drowned trying to secure something or like whatever.
Okay.
So then they got more people to investigate. Obviously, this guy, what do you call it? The board's superintendent. So he must be some guy that's like oversees this.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like probably the manager or whatever of like the shifts or whatever. Robert Muirhead, he had begun an investigation. He already knew all the people well, so whatever. So his speculation was that Marshall and Ducat, like 2 of the 3, probably went out into the storm to try and secure something. And when they didn't return, the last guy walked out to try to find them, whatever.
Right.
So this is a quote from that guy. So, from evidence which I was able to procure, I was satisfied that the men had been on duty up until dinner time on Saturday the 15th of December, that they had gone down to secure a box in which the mooring ropes, landing ropes, etc. were kept, in which was secured in a crevice in the rock about 110 feet above sea level, and that an extra large sea had rushed up to the face of the rock, had gone above them, and coming down the men's force had swept them completely away. Theories started like kind of going around, whatever. Like some people speculated that they were gobbled up by a giant sea serpent. That could.
Don't hate that.
We can't rule that out.
Don't hate that.
Or they were whisked away by a huge seabird.
Don't hate that.
Again, can't rule that out. 1900s, you never know.
Right.
One theory had the men leave
the last dodo bird of all time.
Yeah. No, it was just a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
So one theory had that the men left the island because they were trying to escape their debts, while another had them spirited away by the skeleton crew of a ghost ship. Some people even thought that the men.
Fucking wacky.
Some people even thought that the men had been kidnapped by foreign spies.
Right.
The logbook entries were injected into the story several years after, and there's no evidence that they even existed as the Fortune Times. There's no evidence that. Yeah. The logbook. Let me reset the whole thing. The logbook entries were injected into the story several years after Marshall, Ducat, and MacArthur disappeared. There's no evidence they ever existed, as the Fortune Times journalist Mike Dash discovered after carrying out his own investigation. So, dismissing both the fake logbook entries and the fanciful tales of sea serpents and ghost ships, what we're left with three theories have emerged over the years that explain their disappearance. So basically, there's a logbook that just appeared, like they found it or something. And so this journalist is saying like that was fake, and this is maybe like a cover up or something that they gave them this logbook, and they were like, oh, we just found this as evidence a couple years later.
What was like in the logbook? Just
getting there.
Okay.
So, so the first theory is that, what do you call it? MacArthur got in a fight with the other ones because I guess he's just like a fucking hothead or whatever. That was his personality.
Okay.
So they were saying that maybe they were just fighting or something and they just fell over a cliff. Keep in mind, like the way that the lighthouse works is there's like a staircase that goes up to the base of it. So it's like you're on a cliffside. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. So you can see it at all times. Another one is that MacArthur, or like anybody, but probably MacArthur, just again because of his personality, he might have like murdered the other ones and threw them in the sea and then killed himself. While both theories at a level of like bloodthirstiness and entertainment, there is no evidence that either a fight or a murder took place. It's possible that the men in their confined quarters like could have easily just had temper slur because they're whatever.
Right.
But also, there's no bodies. There's no crime scene really. There's no way to like.
There's like no sign.
There would have been something. Yeah, exactly. And then, again, like when they got there, the dinner was ready and like there was a table set and like so it's like if there wasn't.
I fucking hate meatloaf.
Yeah. Exactly. So that other explanation was the one I already said before, where like they tried to secure the equipment and then they dipped out and then what do you call it? They tried to secure the equipment and then two of them couldn't do it, so then the third guy was like, oh, let me go find them because they haven't been back in a few minutes, and then all three of them died, whatever. But the weird part about that one is that like again, these guys aren't like rookies at this stuff,
right?
And so they understand how like inclement weather can affect their job. Like
the high seas doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does not care.
This doesn't stop for nobody.
The Mother Ocean does not care about your experience.
Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, this one's just weird. Like they just vanished all of a sudden, and it's like they've been doing this. It wasn't the first time they like did this shift. So why did they just randomly have
people just vanishing is always odd.
Yeah,
just, like,
and
there's no sign at all. Like.
And so, like I said, there was a guy that lived close enough to the lighthouse where he could see the light in the report. He said like there was mist so thick, like for the last like 2 or 3 days, the mist was so thick that he couldn't see the light. Not only could he not see the light, but it was mist he's never seen in his entire life. Like it was so thick that he had never seen that type of like weather in his entire life. And so he lived close enough to see the light, but it was so thick that he couldn't see the light for like the last like couple days.
Huh.
So like that's like another layer too, where it's like what, like just weird shit that's going on. Yeah. So yeah, I have no idea. It was just weird shit. So again, the most likely one is they were trying to get the equipment secured and they all just walked out and died, and maybe that's all it was, but just super strange shit. And yeah, I mean that's the last one I had.
What about the logbook? Was there anything in it?
Oh, the logbook. Let's see if I can find something on that.
Falsified logbook.
Yeah, so more doubt was cast on the official investigation with the emergence of a logbook supposedly containing several baffling entries between the 12th and the 15th. The first entry, Marshall is supposed to have written that a great storm to the likes of which he'd never seen before hit the island. He continued that Ducat was unusually quiet when the storm hit and MacArthur was weeping. And MacArthur's the guy that's like, just not...
The crazy guy?
Yeah, but he's not like a sensitive dude. Like he just...
Yeah.
I don't know, weather would make him cry, most likely. A second entry had all three men praying in the eye of the monstrous storm, and the third and final entry, supposedly written on the 15th, states that the storm had passed and all now was calm. On hearing about the existence of these logbook entries, many questioned the idea that the men had been swept out to sea. If anyone had died, surely whoever wrote the 15th December would have mentioned it. So that's why it was just weird. And so that's why people think that the logbook was just like...
Not real?
Like fake, yeah, like falsified or like whatever, because... Yeah, I mean, that doesn't make sense. How would he write that the storm cleared if they were all dead? Or like,
right.
If somebody had died because of the storm, like, you think he would have...
You think he probably mentioned that?
Exactly.
Unless he done it.
So, yeah, just weird shit. I don't know. Just another weird entry. I mean, it was in the 1900s, so it's obviously not going to ever be solved, but...
Wow.
Something to consider. So, yeah, that's all I got.
So more reasons to stay out of the ocean.
Yeah, or even near the ocean.
Or not, yeah, can't even be near it.
Yeah. I mean,
not only can you not go in it, you shouldn't even be near it.
You really shouldn't even
If you can see it, you're too close.
That's a good point. That's why I live in South Weymouth.
Correct.
North Weymouth is just cursed. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
That is sketch. Wow.
Some crazy shit going
Good
on.
topic.
Some crazy shit going on. But anything else?
No. I just hope people are enjoying this new format. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. So.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for episode 60.
We'll see you in season 7 next week.
Yeah. Exactly.